Blecher Report last week had done a ranking of the NFL's top quarterback receiver duos ahead of the 2023 draft. So this would not include tight ends. This would just be quarterback to receiver. Is there a point, RJ Choppy, where a quarterback is so good or a receiver is so good that it doesn't matter how good the other one is? They should be on the list just because one of them is that great. And even if the other one's average, that should be enough to make the top 8 as this list calculates.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe, but it would have to be quarterback.
Would Patrick Mahomes be able to?
Who's his top receiver now?
I don't know. Whoever.
Outside of Kelsey.
Yeah. So whoever.
Yeah,
Right.
they're number one.
All right. So
Number one.
They're number one.
Patrick Mahomes is not on the list at all. He's nowhere in the top 8.
Who's this from?
Bleacher Report.
Okay.
Now, so I do think Travis Kelce's a tight end in name only. They should put him as a wide receiver, right? They should put him on this list.
But he's not. And he's just lost Juju. I'm just saying, Juju, McCole Hardman, these guys are all gone now. In fact, let me look. His receivers on his roster: Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Kadarius Toney, Justin Ross, John Ross, Cornell Powell, the old Secretary of State.
Colin Powell.
That's what I thought. Same thing. Sky Moore. So I don't know. I would have thrown one of the receivers on there and just said he's on the list, but he's not. So number 8. I think you guys are going to have some issues with this list.
Okay, I'm already writing mine down.
All right.
Number 8.
Hang on. Let me go. Let me see what. All right, go.
Justin Herbert and Mike Williams from the Los Angeles Chargers.
Yeah. Like, that feels like you're filling out a list.
Yeah.
It does, especially when it's just the top 8. It feels like you're filling out a list. And they said we could have made a case for Detroit Lions duo of Jared Goff and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Spoiler alert, they're not on the list. But this is the one that they went with. Herbert, I'd have a tough time. I can't imagine there's 7 better duos than Herbert and Williams, though. I think Williams is a solid receiver, and I think Herbert's really good.
Sure.
Number 7.
Hang on. Let me just throw out my list real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
There's 4 definite ones better than Dak and Lamb.
Okay.
4 definite.
All right.
Allen and Diggs, Burrow and Chase, Cousins and Jefferson because of Jefferson. And then I'm going to think that they put Hurts and A.J. Brown up there.
Is there a greater gap between Jefferson and Lamb than there is between Dak and Cousins?
Greater, yes.
I don't think so.
Of course you wouldn't.
Yeah.
You're a Dak homer.
Tua and Tyreek has to be ahead.
Tua and Tyreek was my possible 5th.
Yeah, Tua and Tyreek, Allen Diggs, Burrow, Chase, Hurts, AJ.
Cousins, Jefferson.
Yeah, I'm trying to think here.
Then I'll give Dak Lamb number 6 and possibly number 5.
Hurts, AJ.
I'm just saying what the list is going to say.
Well, you're wrong on your possible. Speaking of Tua and Tyreek, they come in at number 7 on this list. I'm guessing a lot of this is weighted just the concern about Tua's future, his health, how available he'll be. And he did not, outside of the first 4 weeks of the season, he was not as good the rest of the way. Now, obviously, he started getting banged up, and then by the end of the year, he wasn't even really available, but still. Number 6, Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb.
There you go. And this only happened because CeeDee Lamb's emergence in the second half of the season. He freaking turned it on, and he answered the number 1 receiver doubters, including myself. Starting November, his splits actually, they do the splits weird now that they've added games. So I got weeks 1 through 8, and then actually no, they adjusted for it. So weeks 1 through 8, here were his numbers last year: 42 catches, 556, 3 touchdowns. 9 through 16 went from 42 to 65 catches, from 556 to 803, and he doubled the touchdowns from 3 to 6. So he really turned it on and answered a lot of the doubts.
Yeah, 5 100-yard receiving games in the second half of the season. He had none in the first half, and then he had a 6th in the playoff game. So he really turned it up. Now, you know what was different in the second half of the season, Sean? Dak Prescott was throwing in the ball.
Oh, yeah. Good point.
So that's, I think that as a duo, the way they work together.
All the, what do we call the Cooper Rush people?
What do we call them?
Cooper Troopers.
Yeah, Cooper Troopers. Number 5. And this list can go in the trash. Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown, Philadelphia Eagles.
Told you. There you go.
I mean, look, if you're going to put you're going to put Jalen Hurts as part of this duo, then you should have Patrick Mahomes somewhere in the top 8, even if it's just
I agree.
a warm body at receiver.
I agree with that.
Number 4, this is where this list is gonna get. This is gonna get ridiculous. Number 4, Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp.
I mean,
Matthew Stafford's arm doesn't work anymore.
okay, that's true.
It barely worked before.
Colin Cowherd's number 1 quarterback in the NFC. Yeah, if Stafford's on the field, they belong because Kupp is a machine.
Yep.
But
I agree.
I wouldn't put them up there because I think Matt Stafford is dead.
I would replace them with. I don't know. I think Amon-Ra St. Brown is going to be amazing.
He
is
was
really good.
amazing.
I think that needs to be on there, but I don't know.
That could be up there.
I would take them off, and I would take Kupp and Stafford off, and I may just shift everybody down a slot and then put them at 8, 7, or 8.
Number 3, Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. That to me is the best connection in the NFL right
That's
now.
a heck of a number 3.
Yeah. Wait till you see 2. Wait till you see 1.
Well, we know that
What could possibly?
it's Allen and Diggs and Jefferson and Cousins.
What order?
The way you're asking it, it's going to be Cousins and Jefferson 1.
So let's just get through number 2, clearly being Allen and Diggs. Number 1, Cousins and Jefferson. That's ridiculous.
It's not ridiculous.
Yes, it is.
It's not ridiculous.
ridiculous.
At
No,
all.
it is ridiculous that if you're not going to have Patrick Mahomes anywhere in the top 8,
They're not connected.
but it is.
Stop, it's a different point.
It is connected because Cousins being anywhere number 1 on a list of duos, the receiver can never be good enough to cover over the fact that Cousins would never be number 1 in a duo.
Okay, but hang on. Someone has to throw him the ball.
Yes.
And he puts up monster numbers.
Right.
Okay,
Someone.
but he puts up. You have to give Kirk credit for that.
Well, you got to give Mahomes credit for things. You got to give.
Yeah.
I want you to get this through your head. I want you to absorb this and just turn off your mic. You don't even have to respond. I want you to listen. I want you to
It's
absorb.
my segment, Joey. Don't cut my mic off.
I want you to let this land with you.
Uh-huh.
Let this absorb into your thick bearded skull.
Yep, my size 8 head.
Kirk Cousins is Dak Prescott,
No.
and Dak Prescott
is
Kirk Cousins.
Yep.
Just
Yep.
accept
That and
it.
more coming up next on First Take.
Just that's not a hot take. It's a hot take to say that
it
it's
with me and say this with me. Jared Goff's better than both of them.
I'm not saying that yet. I can't support your boy Goff. He's had a fantastic year. I can't bring myself to do it. He looks too California. I can't support it. I can't. But
Cousins is fine.
Kirk
He's fine, but the issue is
Dak
not.
may be a little bit better. It's barely.
Jefferson is not forget just that though. On a list like this, how can you put Cousins and Jefferson above Chase and Burrow?
Because Justin Jefferson has set all the receiving records, so you have to weight it for him.
Yeah, I agree.
Like Michael Thomas, Drew Brees, that would have been number 1.
Let's talk about the gap again. And Michael Thomas insanely overrated. We're talking about the Jason Witten of receivers with his 8-yard routes.
Wow.
So when you look at
you hate
Man,
on Romo.
listen to me.
Amazing.
You love
This
Dak.
is amazing. He's crapping on Witten's career to boost Dak. If Dak had a real tight end,
Listen,
he'd be good.
The boss was worried about your energy level before. That has been fixed.
I'm not even talking about Dak here. I'm saying Burrow and Cousins. Is there a larger gap there than Jefferson and Chase?
Burrow, Cousins, Jefferson, Chase. Yes, there's a larger gap.
So the combo should be better with Burrow and Chase. That shouldn't even be a question.
But Justin Jefferson, he had a record-setting season. You have to weigh that.
You have to give Kirk credit for a lot of that.
He's really good.
128, 1,800 yards.
Jefferson's a stud. He's probably the best receiver in the NFL.
Okay,
He's
but-
not so much better that it covers over the gap between the quarterback combo.
You're right. I think Burrow and Chase should be higher than Cousins and Jefferson, but you have to give Kirk credit.
Yeah.
If you're going to give Dak credit for CeeDee, which I think a lot of us do, it's not, he didn't create CeeDee, but he gets credit for helping him along.
Sure,
I think you got to give
Cousins
Cousins the same kind of credit.
Cousins
that you
is a
would give
decent
for that.
quarterback.